In your opinion, how important is social media for modern business and why? Now, I know this is a really obvious question to ask, but the reason I'm asking it is because I like to get a very specific response from someone who's actually doing it. Like, I know the importance of social media, so do you, but maybe our audience doesn't know, people that aren't involved. So tell us why it's so important in this day and age.
Yeah, it's everything. The reach is everything. If you can just go out and spew your mission, your people are going to come to you. You're not going to have to actively seek them out. Back in the day, you had to run around, you had to talk to people, you had to shake their hands, you had to say, who are you? You know, do you belong in my organization? Now they come to you. They run to you. They say, damn, dude, I see what you're up to, and I fucking want that for myself and my people. Like, how can I do it? And then if you're out here providing value, you're going to get that back times 10. And a lot of people are too worried about, oh, you know, maybe I'll expend the slightest bit of effort and then it won't come back to me immediately. It's like, well, you know, go out there and inspire, and these people will come to you in droves.
I think that's a generational thing as well, because like our generation, the generation before us, I would feel kind of understand that like things don't just, you know, happen like that in life. It takes some time, you know, just to let things sit and then grow at it. Like, for instance, I've been doing this podcast since let's say July of last year, and it's very slowly beginning to turn into something, but it takes time. Like I think it'll take a couple of years probably before it really turns into something, but that's good. That's what you want, because I think you need to like learn lessons over time, and also I think it just takes time to kind of perfect the right model, the right approach, whatever the case may be. And yeah, it's the same is true of social media. I mean, like when I first started using social media, I did it a particular way. One of the biggest lessons I learned is that every single platform has a totally different approach. So like, let's say like Twitter and Reddit are better for connecting with people and like networking, whereas, you know, Facebook is good for just throwing content out there. I don't know why, but it just gets views apparently if you just use loads of hashtags. And then things like YouTube is interesting because it's like, you know, everyone talks about this algorithm like it's the holy grail, but it doesn't necessarily work that way for every creator, you know. But there is even an SEO element to that, and which is quite interesting. Yeah, obviously, I completely agree with you. It's very important. It's made life a whole lot easier. But one thing I do want to add to this, which I think you sort of touched on, but I think is very important, is that a lot of people are very scared about, you know, oh, I need to go for like a standard job. I need to work for a company. I need to do this, blah, 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 blah. Let me tell you something. I've got a degree in 3 years worth of experience. And I've said this before to my listeners, but maybe not everyone on the podcast knows. You know, I've been unemployed for the last year, and I've just been like freelancing and putting all my time in this. And I can tell you that most of the companies that I speak to on a daily basis about potentially working there are clueless. You know, they just don't understand what's really important in marketing. They're like, oh, you know, you need 5 years experience, and you need experience with this PPC and this Facebook advertising and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, do you know what? That's all great, but that doesn't necessarily mean that stuff is actually useful for your specific company. And like whenever I come into a new company, or anytime I work with a new client, the first thing I do is go, what's your setup? Like, what tools are we using? What's the formatting? Blah, blah, blah. Because if you don't do that, you can't kind of figure out what to do. And just because something worked, you know, for a different industry, a different company that you work with, doesn't mean it's going to work for this new one. Like, you have to approach it with a fresh slate each time. So yeah, I don't know. I think there is a little bit of growth. Some people are beginning to, you know, wake up and smell the coffee, but there's still a lot of people caught in the old ways of marketing that think, oh, this is how it is, and that's how it is. And
it's like all these opportunities have been so arbitraged out that it's the non-traditional routes that are really going to give you the greatest bang for your buck. It's going to be the content marketing. It's going to be just you providing value and collecting traffic, and not for the pure, you know, throwing up, oh, this is our offer, but just showing people who you are, what you're about, what you can do, and then they'll do actionable steps. And I think that's what we're headed, and that's what a lot of companies will see. You know, Facebook ads will be a thing of the past, shorter than we realize.